What's up, 8th grade? Mr. Agnos here. This video is for homework 15-5. And good news is this week you don't have to do all that laborious work creating a relative frequency table. We're back to simply right? We're back to interpreting a relative frequency table. And remember that interpreting means, can you read it? Can you understand what it's telling you? Can you actually use it, right? Now remember, a relative frequency table does not look at the actual numbers. It looks at the percents, right? It looks at the percentages. So I'm going to do a few here. Some of them are really easy, and some of them are more challenging. Right? Question number 1 here. Men and women were asked what type of car they own. Okay, so we have 2-door cars, 4-door cars, and then over in the columns here, we have men and women. And luckily the table has been filled out for us. What percent of people own a 2-door car? What percent of people own a 2-door car? So I'm going to go to the 2-door column, and notice it says people, right? It doesn't say men, it doesn't say women. It says what percent of people. That means we're going to go all the way down to the totals box right here. There it is. 56% of the people in this survey own a 2-door car. So some of the questions are that easy, right? Not all of them, but there are a bunch that are really just, hey, can you look at this and identify the correct number? All right, let's move ahead here. I'm going to take a look at number 4. 500 people in each of 2 cities were asked if they frequently use umbrellas. So I know that with digits, they often say a lot of stuff in this initial paragraph here. So one strategy I like to do is I like to just read the first sentence, right? And then take a look at the table. So 500 people in each of 2 cities were asked if they frequently use umbrellas. So I just stop there, and then I look at the table here. And you can see that on the columns here, it says, do you frequently use umbrellas? We have a yes or a no. And then for our rows, we have 2 different cities. Now, they didn't say like Concord and Pleasant Hill. They just said, city A and city B. So if I want to know about city A, 4% said yes, they frequently use umbrellas, and 96% said no. What does that mean? Well, that means that this is a dry city. There's not a lot of, they don't tell us where these are or if they're near each other. But clearly, we do not get a lot of rain here because 96% of them don't use umbrellas. Contrast that with city B, where 80% said they do use umbrellas, right? So maybe this is Seattle, Washington, right, where there's a ton of rain. And maybe this is like city A is like Phoenix, Arizona, where there's like no rain, okay? So I haven't even read the question yet, but I still sort of already understand what the table is telling me. And so I think that's a good strategy is read the first part, take a look at the table, and just get an idea of what the table is telling you, and then see what the question is. The table shows the data. In which city do people use umbrellas less often? Okay, so the key words here are less often. So frequently use umbrellas. So we're looking at the no's. So 96% no's, right? That's less often, right? In city A versus 20% in city B. So definitely it's city A, right? They use umbrellas less often. 96% don't use them. So I would click on city A. Got it. Is there evidence of an association between the city in which people live and how often they use umbrellas? So this goes to what I first talked about, right? Is there an association? Can we look at this and make some kind of determination? Absolutely. All right, absolutely we can. Again, look at city A. If you live in city A, 96% of the respondents said they don't use an umbrella. Again, this is someone who lives in the dry Southwest, maybe even here in California, right? But if you look at the results for city B, it's almost completely flip-flopped. I'll use blue because they're the rainy folk. It's almost completely flip-flopped. The vast majority do use umbrellas. So there is an association, right? You're much more likely to use an umbrella if you're in city B than if you're in city A. So is there an evidence of an association? So yes, the answer is yes. Okay, there's obviously evidence of an association. So I'm going to immediately cross off the no's, right? And let's look at our two choices here. Yes, because 42% of people, 42 and 58. So look at the numbers they're using here. Yes, because 42% said they frequently use umbrellas and 58% said they frequently do not. That's using the row totals. That's combining. We're interested in each individual city. So again, even if you're not sure, you're like, I'm not sure. Let's just go ahead and leave that one, come back to it. Choice D here says yes. Remember, the question is there an association? Yes, because 96% of people in city A said they do not frequently use umbrellas, and 20% of people in city B said they do not. So what that is saying is yes, a ton of people in city A say no, but only a few people in city B say no. So it's very clear that if you're in city A, boom, you're much more likely to say no than if you're in city B. So that's our winner, chicken dinner. Right? Again, choice B was kind of using the row totals for yes and no, and it didn't make sense. So that one's definitely a little tougher. You may still be confused about that question. So make sure to ask questions in class. We can go over them together. All right, moving right along. Let's take a look at number 6. Patients were given either medicine A or medicine B, and then we're going to see if they showed improvement. So in their medical condition. So again, I look at the table, and here we have improvement, we have yes or no. So did they get better, yes or no? And then which type of medicine, A or B, right? And before I do anything, I can already see kind of a pattern, right? With medicine A, I'll use green for good and red for bad, right? Yes, 64% improved. 34% didn't, right? So the majority, 2/3 almost, improved with medicine A. But look at medicine B. Only 36% improved and 66% did not, right? So I don't even know what the question is yet, but right away I can tell that, hey, if I'm going to choose between these two medicines for whatever my ailment is, I'm definitely going to be looking at medicine A. So what's the question? A greater percent of people given which medicine saw an improvement? Well, that'd be medicine A, right? Because 64% improved, whereas only 36% improved with medicine B. Got it? Is there evidence that the improvement was related to the type of medicine? Absolutely. Again, I haven't even read the responses, but yes, right? We know by looking at this table that if you took medicine A, you had a 64% chance of improving. So I'm going to go ahead and cross off this one because it's no, and then I'll read through these. Yes, because the percent of people who reported improvement that took medicine A was greater than the percent of people who took medicine A and did not see improvement. So the problem with this one is it's not related to the type of medicine. This one says nothing about medicine B. That's the key right there. We're interested, is medicine A better than medicine B? This one doesn't talk about medicine B at all. Let's look at choice B. Yes, because the number of people who took each medicine and the percent of people who reported improvement that took medicine B was greater than medicine A. Nope, right? Here's the people that improved with medicine B. Here's the people that improved with medicine A. So this is not true. So that leaves us with this final one. Yes, because the same number of people took each medicine. Oh, that's our, notice over here, 50%, right? When it says same number of people, 50% took each medicine. And the percent of people who reported improvement that took medicine A, that's our green right here, was greater than medicine B, that's our red right here. So some of these ones that, I mean, I know a lot of students have gotten used to like sort of not reading and just clicking. You really have to read these, all right? This lesson is literally called interpreting, right? And there's no way to interpret it if you don't sit here and read each one and really think about it. All right, the last question I'm going to go over is number 14. Students were asked if they have siblings. So again, I'm going to stop right there. Let's look at the table. Have siblings. We have a yes or a no. And then they're looking at it from a gender perspective, boys or girls. All right. The relative frequency table shows the relative frequencies. Where do you look to find the percent of girls that have siblings? That's the question. Where do you look to find the percent of girls that have siblings? So I'm going to go to the girls row and look at the yeses. Okay, remember, rows go left and right, columns go up and down. So I'm going to go to the girls row and look at the yeses. Choice A, look at the boys row. Choice B, look in the girls row and the no column. Well, that tells me which ones don't have siblings. Choice C, look in the girls row and the total column. That doesn't tell me really anything. And then choice D, look in the girls row and the yes column. So that makes perfect sense, right? The percent of girls that responded yes, there it is. Choice D, got it. What percent of girls have siblings? So now they want just the actual number. And in this case, it's 89.5. Fantastic. Okay. So this assignment, some of the questions are painfully easy, as we saw with like number 1. Some of them are a little more tricky, right? And it really requires you to sit there and think about what are they asking and how do I find it. So again, if you're working on this in class and you get to one of those and you're stuck, please put your questions in the chat. I also encourage you to rewatch this video or parts of this video to help you out. All right, I'll see you guys soon.